So I started using the RayNeo AIR 2S AR glasses, and I've been using the Steam Deck exclusively through these glasses for the last 2 weeks. Of course, I've also used them for productivity purposes like editing videos, editing photos, and so on, writing scripts, and you name it. And I learned that from those 2 weeks of use, I'd rather use these glasses for entertainment than productivity, but I'll talk a little bit more about that in this video. Now a quick break for our sponsors at TomTalk. This is the Aviator Slingback in the 1.5 liter configuration, and it's a perfect addition for any minimalist out there. I've been using it a lot lately because I like the idea of keeping my pockets as empty as possible, especially while traveling, and this slingback keeps my EDC very organized. It features 3 main compartments with enough space to take care of your phone, wallet, chargers, battery packs, and other essentials to enhance your everyday carry. The sling also features RFID protection, which is extremely important, and a water-resistant nylon fabric to keep your belongings dry and safe even when the weather is not on your side. My favorite part about the Aviator Slingback is its size. At 1.5 liters, it has enough space to organize all of my essentials without adding too much weight, which by itself is only 304 grams. And most importantly, it looks great, and I know for many of you, that's probably the most important thing when it comes to slingbacks. So if you want to check out the Aviator Sling, check the link in the description for more information, and thanks to TomTalk for sponsoring this video. But first, let's talk about one of the most important things about these glasses, which is the build quality. The build quality of this glass is surprisingly really good. Even though they're made out of plastic, they have a very premium feeling, and one thing I like the most about them is that they fit any head shape and they sit very comfortably, sitting at only 78 grams, which is insane for all the things that you get with this small package. As I said before, the glasses are made out of plastic, and even though they are not the most premium material you can find, they're very well built, and the flexibility they offer when you put them on is outstanding. I gave them to my fiance the first couple of days since I got them, and she tried them on and they fit very well on her as well. I think that the most important thing about Fitment when it comes to these glasses is not this portion, because it'll fit everyone. I think the most important part that you should check out and try out yourself to make sure it's the right fitment is the nose piece. The nose piece that comes with the glasses for me were too narrow and they were sitting a little bit too high. With this one, I feel like they sit in the perfect position, which is the second one that comes in the package. And for me and for my fiance, allows you also to sit a little bit lower, which in my case allowed me to see the display with more sharpness, because if you don't have it placed in the right position, you get some blurry sides and stuff like that, which has nothing to do with the glasses themselves. It's mostly on that nose piece, and you have to make sure that it's sitting in the right position before starting to consume content, which is basics. The glass themselves has been looking pretty good. I mean, the front glass is in perfect condition. If you guys look at it, let me see how I can make this. Let me see how I can make it visible in on my lens. I have been treating them the same way I treat any of my regular glasses, and the front glass seems in perfect condition. It comes in a really good package as well, so if you travel with them, you can rest assured that once you put them in, you can just toss them in your backpack or your bag and you'll be perfectly fine. The front glass is translucent, so it allows you to walk around. If you're the type of person that likes to watch your video while you do the dishes and stuff like that, you can definitely do it. For me, I enjoy them more sitting on a couch, but you can definitely walk around and do day-to-day things with these glasses on. And even though they're translucent, you may think that that will affect the image quality in terms of brightness, but it's not the case. The brightness is outstanding in this glass. It's reaching 5000 nits of brightness, which is way more than my iPhone, way more than my Steam Deck and my MacBook, which tells you a lot how good they are. But also the display is OLED, which gives you a very great experience for playing with your Steam Deck, and it doesn't feel like a downgrade at all. I mean, if anything, it's a huge upgrade because this display is marketed to be a 201-inch display. In my case, it feels huge, obviously, but it's hard to measure something that you cannot touch. But if I compare it to any TV or monitor that I have at home, obviously it's the biggest one that I've experienced in my house at least. And one thing though that may turn you maybe back about buying them because of the specs, the resolution is 1080p at a maximum of 120 Hz, which is interesting because it's 1080p, but it doesn't feel like it. When I have my Steam Deck on playing Elden Ring or playing Power World or Red Dead Redemption or all this, these games with so much detail, you should be able to spot pixels if it was a bad quality display. But in my case, I haven't experienced anything like that at all. Everything looks sharp, very colorful because it's OLED. The blacks are true blacks and the colors are very vibrant, which is something that I really appreciate, especially coming from this small package. It's something that you would never imagine that a small glass like this can give you such a beautiful image quality. And taking all that in consideration, the vibrancy, the good colors, the sharpness that it has, even though it says that it's 1080p, it's perfect for gaming. And if you have a Steam Deck, the refresh rate will cap at 90 Hz, obviously, because that's the maximum they can go. But if you have a ROG Ally or something like that, it can go to 120. You can enjoy the maximum potential of these glasses. Plus, as I said before, it's OLED, so matching that with the 120 Hz that the ROG Ally has, it has to be the ultimate combination, but I wish I could try it, but I don't have one with me right now. With my Steam Deck, it's already an amazing experience, so I can only imagine how it is playing multiplayer games like Call of Duty in something like this. The headphones themselves are not bad at all. They're not the loudest ones, but they're not lacking anywhere else. The audio is clear, it sounds very good quality, and it gives you an experience almost like having headphones, which is a perfect addition to the immersive experience these glasses allow you to have. And it's really interesting because even having good audio in your living room or good speakers in your office, the experience that you have with this, having something that is straight to your ear, it makes you feel like you're there, especially when you're playing games. And for the size, is to me kind of unbelievable that you can do so much with this thing. I was very surprised when I started testing it, and since then I'm telling you that I haven't used my Steam Deck at all without this on. This adds so much to the experience that I really don't want to play the Steam Deck anymore without this. I don't know, it's great. The speakers have a feature called whisper mode, which is something that I see people using mostly when they're surrounded by either family that is sleeping, or maybe you're in a place where loud noises can be distracting to other people. The whisper mode pretty much reduces the audio frequency, so it doesn't travel too far out from the speakers, and it doesn't sacrifice the sound quality, which is something that I really appreciate RayNeo for taking care of. But in my case, I really don't use it too often because I like to hear all my audio and whatever I'm listening to at the maximum volume and as loud as possible, because as I said before, they're not super loud, but it's clear enough to listen to in most environments. If you're in a very loud environment, you may suffer a little bit with not hearing things as clear. But again, how often are you really gonna be in a place like that? In terms of connectivity, pretty much it works for anything that has a USB Type-C. So for my phone, my Steam Deck, I can simply plug it in and it'll work. For the Switch, they actually sell something called the Joy Dock, and it's something I really want to try myself, but I don't have a Switch with me right now. I sold mine a while ago and I still regret it. I don't know why I did it, but yeah, if you have one, I still have one here I can show you guys, but I haven't tried it again because I don't have a Switch with me. But yeah, this is pretty much what it is. And now the one part that turns these glasses into the ultimate traveling machine, and I feel like the most minimal configuration that you can possibly have it, is the Pocket TV. Imagine it as a remote controller for a normal TV, but it's slightly thicker. And the good thing about this is that it gives you all the streaming services that you can imagine. You have YouTube, you have Disney Plus. I have it right here. I was actually using it recently. But yeah, it has pretty much all the features you can imagine for streaming purposes. You can watch YouTube, Disney Plus, Hulu, all the streaming apps that you can imagine. It has up to 10,000 apps that you can play with, I think, if I'm not mistaken. You put it in your pocket and it's almost like a battery pack. Pretty much. The Pocket TV has a 6500 milliamp hour battery, so battery won't really be a problem when traveling. The only problem that I see people having with this is that it's good when you have Wi-Fi, but if you travel, let's say you're in a plane and you think you can just download your movies from Netflix and everything and just watch it. For this, you have to download them and store them in a micro SD card. So you pretty much plug it here. Let me see if you can see it. That's the only thing. Connect your glasses instead of with the Pocket TV. Do it with your phone, and instead of having to have an additional accessory, even though it's good, it has its place. But I enjoy this a lot. I mean, at home I've been using it. It's a cool experience to have this Apple TV-like experience in your pocket. Now for the conclusion of this video and explaining why I enjoy using these glasses, mostly for entertainment and productivity. The reason is because of the display. When you're watching content, if you don't have the glasses well adjusted, the edges of the display can look blurry at times. Not really the fault of the glasses. It's mostly like, you know, you have to adjust them and find that perfect spot. Honestly, it might be nitpicking on my side. You might be okay with it. But also for me, another reason is because I like to switch devices when I'm working. I don't really think it's practical for me to have to disconnect it and then plug into another device and then doing it again. It can work for you if you have maybe a workflow where you don't have to switch so often as I do. But for the most part, it's great. I think it can work for both. But for me, entertainment purposes, gaming, and mostly playing with my Steam Deck is the one that I like to do the most. Okay guys, well, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and Merry Christmas to all of you. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.